A very warm good morning, students. How are you all? I hope you all are having great fun at home, right? So students, do you all remember what we did in our last class? In our last class, we have started with the second chapter from your civics textbook, right? Understanding secularism. So students, we have discussed about the meaning of secularism. What is secularism? Secularism refers to the separation of religion from the state. The very idea or essence of secularism is that no individual should be discriminated or no individual should be persecuted on the basis of his or her religion. Every individual should be given equal opportunities. Every individual should have their right to follow their own religion. Every religion should be equally valued. Every religion should be given equal respect. So this is the idea or the essence of secularism. Also students, we came across few examples from the past that reflected the various kinds of discriminations taking place on the basis of religion since ages. We came to know how in Germany, under the leadership of Adolf Hitler, the Jews were discriminated by the Germans. Some of the Jews were even killed. But students, ironically, the Jews also did the same with the people belonging to the other religions in their own state, Israel. Also students, in Saudi Arabia, the people belonging to various non-Muslim backgrounds were not allowed to have their temples, church, nor were they allowed to enter any public places for offering prayers. So students, these are just few examples that are there in your textbook. But if we try to find more, we will get lots and lots of such examples of discrimination taking place since ages. So students, what is the concept of a secular state? A secular state is one that does not officially promote any religion as the official religion, that does not recognize any religion as the official religion. So students, these were the things that we discussed in our last class. This brings us to our today's topic, that is the second topic from the chapter. Importance of separating religion from the state. Well students, after today's class we shall be able to understand why is it considered so important to separate religion from the state. Students, we all know that the most important aspect of secularism is the separation between religion and state, and this is done mainly in order to help a country function democratically. Students, just imagine if in a country one religion is given the official religion, what will happen? We all know that in a country people belonging to different religions live together, right? And one of the religion is always the majority religion. That means one of the religion always comprises of the most number of population. So what if that particular religion is recognized as the official religion? What will happen? The people belonging to that religion will consider themselves to be the superior. They will consider themselves to be above the other religious groups. And once this feeling of superiority develops in them, they will start discriminating against the other religious groups. So this will lead to the misuse of power and financial resources by the majority religious group over the minority religious groups. So students, this tyranny of the majority could result in the discrimination, coercion, and at times even the killing of religious minorities. So students, what will happen? A very chaotic situation will take place in the country. The tyranny of the majority, that is the domination of the majority, will result in the discrimination, coercion, and at times even the killing of the minorities. Coercion is a very new term that is given in your textbook. So coercion simply means to persuade or to convince someone to do something against their will. That means they are forced to do something, or they are even threatened to do something which they are not willing to do, right? So this is the meaning of coercion. So students, if one's religion is given the status of the official religion, the people belonging to that religious group will start forcing the minorities to follow their religion. They might even stop or prevent the minorities from following their own religion. And if this happens, what will happen? This will lead to the violation of one of the very important fundamental rights, that is the freedom of religion, which is given to the minorities. Not only to minorities, to everyone. In a country, every person has the right to profess, propagate and practice the religion of their choice. But if people are being discriminated on grounds of their religion, do you think this fundamental right will be followed? No, this fundamental right will be violated, right? So in order to prevent the violation of this important fundamental right, it is very important to separate religion from the state. So this is the first important reason as to why we need to separate religion from the state, to prevent the misuse of power by the majority religious group over the minority religious group. Okay? The second important reason as to why we need to separate religion from the state is because, students, in a country, every person should have the freedom to exit from their religion, to embrace another religion, or the freedom to interpret religious teachings differently. So students, since India is a democratic country, the founding principle of democracy is freedom, which is given to the citizens, right? So in a democratic country, every citizen should have the freedom to exit from their own religion, to follow or to start embracing another religion, or to interpret or to explain the religious values differently. We all have different perspectives of religion, right? For me, religion might be different. For you, the meaning of religion might be different. That is why what happens, the terrorists, in the name of religion, they kill people. That is their interpretation of religion. They think that religion allows them to kill the innocent people. But do you think that is right? No. So that is how they interpret religion. But students, our interpretation of religion is completely opposite to their interpretation. For us, religion teaches us love, religion teaches us equality, religion teaches us how to live peacefully with each other, right? So everyone has the right to interpret religion according to their own perspective. So students, one classic example regarding this is the practice of untouchability. I think you all know at least something about untouchability, right? So it was a practice which prevailed a long time back, where the lower caste people or the SCs were not touched by the upper caste people, because it was believed that the SCs or the lower caste people were impure, and if the upper caste people will touch them, they too will become impure. So the people had this kind of mindset. They had this kind of interpretations regarding religion. So students, this practice was undertaken for a very long time. But what happened? The various social reformers fought battles with the society, not literally battles. They convinced the society that this kind of practices are very wrong. Every person is equal, no person is impure. So after prolonged fight with the society, the practice of untouchability was put to an end. But students, this happened only because India was a secular state. Just imagine what would have happened if India was not a secular state. What would have happened? The people belonging to the majority religion would have prevented the various social reformers from abolishing or from stopping this process of untouchability, right? So the various social reformers would have faced a lot of obstacles, or they would have faced a lot of difficulty in abolishing this practice of untouchability. But because India is a secular state, no religion has the power to dominate another religion. No one has the power to prevent someone from interpreting religion in their way. So it became possible to abolish the practice of untouchability. So students, that is why it is very important to separate religion from the state. Otherwise, people will not have the freedom to exit from their religion even if they want to. They will not have the freedom to follow or to embrace another religion even if they want to. Also, people will not have the freedom to interpret religion according to their own way. And students, this will also lead to the violation of the fundamental rights, the right to freedom, right? So students, these are the two important reasons why we need to separate religion from the state. So before winding up the class, let's do a quick recap of what we have done today. Today we have discussed two very important points regarding why it is important to separate religion from the state. The first point, it is important to separate religion from the state in order to prevent the violation of the fundamental right, that is the right to freedom of religion of the people. What will happen if one religion is given the official status? That particular religion will start dominating or discriminating the other religious groups, right? The other religious groups will be deprived of the various benefits or of the various facilities. Okay, so in order to prevent this violation of fundamental right, it is important to separate religion from the state. Secondly, every person should have the freedom to practice their own religion, to exit from their religion, to follow another religion, or to interpret religion differently. But if one religion is given the status of the official religion, the people belonging to that religion might prevent the people from practicing another religion or from interpreting religion in their way. So this will also lead to the violation of one fundamental right, that is the right to freedom. So in order to protect this fundamental right, it is very important to separate religion from the state. So students, I hope you all are quite clear with this concept. Let us now move on to the homework of today's class. So there are two homework questions. The first question is, state two reasons behind the separation of religion from the state. These are the reasons which we have discussed just now. Just remember that you have to write 2 points separately. Each point carries 2 marks. Don't write 2 less, because otherwise it will be very difficult for me to give you marks in your exam as well. The second question, explain the meaning of coercion. So coercion meaning to persuade or to convince someone to do something either forcefully or by threatening them. Okay, so you can frame your own answer while writing it. Okay, date of submission is today itself and time is in between 8 to 9 p.m. So students, in case you feel you have any doubt or difficulty, do contact me. I'll surely help you. Okay then students, on this note, let's end today's class here. Thank you. Take care and stay safe.